So I'm surfing the web the other day looking at lighting setups on YouTube, and I come across this image. And it sort of took me by surprise because what it looks like is $100 million Hollywood feature, in this case one called Reminiscence, using a single 4-foot tube to light a 2-camera setup. Now normally in Hollywood you would use a bunch of lights for something like this, maybe cross-keyed like this one in Ford versus Ferrari, or you would rig out the entire ceiling with Kino-like structures like this one in Phantom Thread. But to use just a single tube to light both people, I thought, this is amazing. I wonder what it looks like. I want to recreate this and see if I can get the same effect, because this is a $100 lighting setup in a $100 million movie. I was lucky enough to find some actors who are the same skin tone as the two actors in this film. As the first thing I tried was just setting the tube light up between the two actors as they had it in the BTS shot. That gives you something like this, which is really not terrible, but certainly not what they had in the final film. I quickly discovered that they're using other lights as the backlights. You don't see them in the BTS shot, maybe because they're far away. They're like a Lee-Ko type spotlight. But I used 2 more 2-foot tubes on stands behind each actor. This gave me too much spill, so then I added this cinefoil on both lights to sort of flag them down so they were only hitting the back of each actor's head to give more dimension, and that gave me this. Which, if you look at just the actor, the lighting is pretty similar. So what I was very surprised about was that they were shooting 2-camera. They're shooting both sides of the conversation at the same time. While this is great for editing and performance, it's not great for lighting because you have to basically compromise both people's shots to include the other person. So I thought I could do a little better if I shot singles because I only had 1 camera. I moved to just 1 actor's single. I added 2 tubes, I added diffusion, I added an uplight. What I got was better, but I didn't think it was that much better. It was maybe 10% better. Certainly not good enough to not be able to shoot 2-camera and cover the scene in half as much time. When I started breaking down what made the shot that they got much more cinematic, much more powerful, much more of a story than the shot that I got, it was actually the environment. It was this crazy set that they had built with windows that looked out onto the street with all these small little practicals. And I realized that they weren't lighting a scene with just 1 tube. What they were doing was they had lit the entire set that created the world in which the film had occurred. And they were just bringing in this 1 tube for a key light in one particular interaction. You can see they even added a mirror into the girl with the long hair's close-up because it then reflected all the set that built on the other side and the whole rest of the stage and the production value, which I thought was a really smart touch. It seems like this is a way that more and more Hollywood films are being lit, where they build the set, light the whole environment so the actors can kind of be anywhere and look good. And then for individual shots, they just bring in a version of the light that might be in the ceiling, the tube light. They just bring it down and close to give it more punch in the single. I did think it was interesting that there is no master shot. There's no 2 shot where you see both of them talking. This is because this scene occurs within a longer sequence of the film, and you've already established the relationship between the 2 characters, where they are, what they're doing here. So you don't really need that master shot. If you did want to get it, you could have got it just like the BTS shot. You could have pulled the cameras out, got the 2 shot, but it seems like they decided that that wasn't really necessary. This was a very enlightening experience to see a lighting setup from a Hollywood film and then to go and recreate it and see all the steps that go into it and how close or how far you are able to get to the result that's on the film. It also reveals that there's often much more going on in shots than a BTS photo might reveal. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe to the channel and check out Canon Masterclass. I have a ton of longer form, much more detailed tutorials. You can see a link for that up here. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.